We continue now at the top of Daf Yomi and Beis Meseches Zevachim. This is Zevachim Daf 110b. The Mishnah said on the previous summit, if somebody is zorek mixas damim bachutz, he throws some of the blood outside of the Beis Hamikdash, talking about a carbon where there's multiple applications of blood and just some of the blood is thrown outside of the Beis Hamikdash. The Mishnah continues chayiv. The Mishnah says that one is chayiv in such a situation, again for offering it bachutz. Rebbe Lozer Omer, again this is a girsa question, but the proper girsa is most likely Rebbe Lozer. Rebbe Lozer Omer, Rebbe Lozer says, Af hamenasech me hachag bechag bachutz. Even somebody who pours as a libation the waters of Sukkos on Sukkos outside the Beis Hamikdash chayiv, he is going to be chayiv in that case. Rabbi Nechemya Omer, Rabbi Nechemya says, Sheyore hadam sheikrivu bachutz, the remainder of the blood which is offered outside the Beis Hamikdash chayiv, the person is liable. And Rashi explains chayiv again by the case of mixas damim, some of the blood is applied bachutz. L'Rabbanan delo bo kulo mater, certainly according to the Rabbanan who say that to be liable bachutz you don't need the entire matter, so then one is liable in this case by mixas damim, by some of the blood. Rebbe Lozer nami modeba kedamrinan begemara. Rebbe Lozer also admits in this situation again that we would say chayiv, as the Gemara will explain. And then the Mishnah had a case of mei hachag, the waters of Sukkos, shenismalu l'shem nisach hamayim bechag haSukkos, they were filled for the sake of the nisach hamayim on Sukkos. And finally the Mishnah said sheyore hadam, the remainder of the blood. Rashi says shel chatos, this is the remaining blood of carbon chatos. Hataunin shvicha liyasod, the halach is that requires to be poured to the base of the mizbeach. So shehikriv bachutz, if that was offered outside of the Beis Hamikdash chayiv, one is chayiv. Because savar, because the Tana of our Mishnah holds shirayim ma'akvin, that remainder of the blood to pour that to the yesod is ma'akev, it's a requirement. Hilkach meskablim bifnim, therefore that's something that is accepted inside the mikdash. Uzrika gemurahin, that's considered a real zrika, and therefore the person is liable. And the Gemara says, Amar Rava says, Umoder Rebbe Lozer bedamim, that Rebbe Lozer admits by the case again of mixas damim that one is liable bachutz, as we said in the Mishnah. Rashi explains, Moder Rebbe Lozer bedamim va'afilu bechatos hapnimios, even again by the inner chatos where you have multiple applications of blood, to habifnim, because inside the mikdash im nishbach hadam achar shenasan matana achas, the halach is even if the blood spilled after that one application was done, mahan yahach de yohava, that application of blood is effective. Umevi parachar, and what the halacha is that he brings another bull, umaschel mimakom shapasak, and he begins the applications of the blood from where he left off, and therefore Rebbe Lozer does admit, he does agree by the case of mixas damim. And the Gemara continues Detanya, as we learned in a Bryce, and the Shinui Neschos over here changes the girsa to Ditnan, as we learned in a Mishnah. This is a Mishnah in Yuma. Rebbe Lozer, Rebbe Shimon Omrim, Rebbe Lozer and Rebbe Shimon say mimakom shapasak umaschel. Again, as Rashi just said, if the blood spills from the place where he left off, that's where he resumes. Rashi says, the Tanan Meseches Yuma bahotziulo. Again, this is a Mishnah in Meseches Yuma. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Rebbe Lozer Omer, Rebbe Lozer says, Af hamenasech me hachag bechag bachutz, even somebody who pours the water libation of Sukkos on Sukkos outside of the Beis Hamikdash is going to be liable. And the Gemara says, Amar Rebbe Yochanan mishum Rebbe Menachem Yodfa. Rebbe Yochanan said in the name of Rebbe Menachem Yodfa, Rebbe Lozer, Beshitas Rebbe Akiva Rabo Amar. Rebbe Lozer over here is following the opinion of Rebbe Akiva, his Rebbe, the Amar Nisach Hamayim Do Raisa, who says that Nisach Hamayim is a Do Raisa. The Tanya, as we learned in a Bryce, Rabbi Akiva Omer, Rabbi Akiva says, Unisacheha, the pasuk says, Unisacheha, B'shnei nisuchim hakosam edaver. The pasuk is talking about two libations. Echad nisach hamayim, v'echad nisach hayayin. We're talking about nisach hamayim, and we're talking about nisach hayayin. And the Gemara continues, Amar le Reish Lakish le Rabbi Yochanan. Reish Lakish said to Rabbi Yochanan, Imala halon shloshas lugin, if over there, by wine, it's 3 lug, Afkan shloshas lugin, then you should say over here also it's 3 lug. Apparently they're compared to one another within the opinion of Rabbi Akiva, but that's not consistent with Rebbe Lozer. Rebbe Lozer mei hachag ka'amar, but Rebbe Lozer is saying the mei hachag, which implies again that we're talking about any amount. If you're saying mei hachag, it sounds like it could be any amount. And furthermore, ima lahalan b'shar yemos hashana, by wine libations it occurs throughout the year. Afkan b'shar yemos hashana, you're going to say over here by the water libation it's throughout the year. Again, for Rebbe Lozer b'chag ka'amar, Rebbe Lozer said it's on Sukkah specifically, and so therefore the point is it does not seem that Rebbe Lozer is following Rabbi Akiva. And the the Gemara continues and says, Ishtam mitzeh ha diyam Rabbi Asi. He forgot about that which Rabbi Asi said. Diyam Rabbi Asi, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Mishum Rabbi Nechunya, Ish Bikas Beis Chorson, because Rabbi Asi said, that Rabbi Yochanan said in the name of Rabbi Nechunya, the man of the valley of Beis Chorson, that Eser Netios, Arava v'Nisach Hamayim, the 10 Netios, Arava and Nisach Hamayim, and the one we're focused on is Nisach Hamayim, Halacha l'Moshe Misinai. These are all a Halacha l'Moshe Misinai, and so it's not like Rabbi Akiva that the source is from Unesacheha, rather it is a Halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Rashi explains Yodfa, again it said Rabbi Menachem Yodfa, Dimin Yodfas, that's from a place that he's from, Yodfas, Nisach Hamayim Doraisa, Hilkach Bachutz Nami Machayvelo, it's Doraisa, that's why you'd be chayiv, liable, if it's done Bachutz. Amar le Reish Lakish said to him, Ira Belazar Me'ahukra Yolef, if he's learning from a pasuk, from that pasuk, Uvahukra Mayim V'yayin Iskosh, and water and wine are compared in the pasuk, Alma Shloshas Lugan Boinan Kenischa Yayin Shalolas Hatamid. It should be 3 lug, like the wine libation of the Olas Hatamid. V'hara Belazar Mehachag Kamar, but he said Mehachag, V'afilu Pachas Mishloshas Lugan, that should be even less than 3 lug. T'ikol Aman Damar Belug Hayim Menasech, there's an opinion that it's just a lug. And Bechag Kamar, he says that's on Sukkis, Beloshan Kushya Garsinan. This also is part of the question. And Rashi continues, Ishtam mitzeh leMenachem Yodfa, Menachem Yodfa, he forgot, Hadam Rabbi Yochanan, again, that which Rabbi Yochanan said in the name of Rabbi Nechunya Ishbikas Beis Chorson, that it's actually a halacha l'Moshe Misinai, Alma l'Kuli Alma Doraisa, the point is we see that everybody agrees it's Doraisa, it's just a question of the source. Hilkach ikol Amadamar belug, Gemiri law, O ein lohem shir, therefore there is a Madamar that says it's a lug, or maybe there is no shir, but again, the point over here is that Rabbi Elazar is not necessarily following Rabbi Akiva. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabbanan, the sages taught in a Braisa, Hamanasech Shloshas Lugan Mayim Bechag Bechutz Chayev. If somebody pours 3 lug of water on Sukkos outside the Beis HaMikdash, he is Chayev, he is liable. Rabbi Elazar says, Imolon L'Shem Chag Chayev, if he fills it up for the sake of the holiday, then he is Chayev. And the Gemara says, My Beinayu, what's the difference between the two opinions? Amar Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, B'yesh Shir B'mayim. They're arguing about if there is a shear, a measure by the water. We'll see Rashi in a moment. That's what they are arguing about. Rav Papa Amar, and Rav Papa says, Rashi explains, My Beinayu, but my kamiflagi, what are they arguing about? My ka'asir Rabbi Elazar l'meim, or what is Rabbi Elazar trying to say over here? And again, the Gemara said, B'yesh shir l'mayim. To Kamar Tanakama, the Tanakama is saying, Hamanasech shloshas lugan chayev, v'hu adin yoser mishloshas lugan. If one pours 3 lug, he's chayev, again outside the mikdash, and even more than 3 lug. T'yesh b'chlal masayim moneh, because in the more than 3 lug is 3 lug to be liable. V'yafa gav demalinu b'chli gadol, even though he put it into a big vessel, kadshinu kli, the vessel does sanctify it, the ein shir l'mei hachag l'mal. It's not going, there's no shir that's maximum, so to speak. It is still consecrated. V'yasser Belazar l'meim, and Rabbi Elazar is coming and saying, v'hu shemilan l'shem chag kederech milu, and it has to be filled 4 sukkahs in the normal way. D'hainu shloshas lugan v'sulo, that's 3 lug and no more. Kedetanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, tzluchas shel zav, mechazek shloshas lugan, memali menashiloach. Again, it actually held, the container, the vessel held 3 lug. Avali avitvei lo katshinu kli, but if it was more, then it wouldn't be consecrated in the vessel. Delo chazule, that's not fit. The yeshir l'mayim, there is a maximum shear. Ve'en klisharis mekachin ela haroi lahem, and klisharis can only sanctify that which is fit for them. And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Kuf Yud Aleph Amud Aleph.